Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. It's a Tuesday. That means it's another time for another episode of Recruiting Intel. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, help us get to 8,000, and also head to InsideTexas.com, sign up using promo code IT1. It'll get you 2 months of Inside Texas for just $1. That'll get you all the way through training camp at this point, or at least a big chunk of it. So come join us, get the recruiting info, get the team info. You're not going to want to miss anything on this. Justin, it is official visit season. We've got one down. You and I talked about that on Sunday. We got to talk a little bit about it on our live stream yesterday on Monday, but now we have a new week of visits to look forward to, including one that starts in the midweek.
Yes. OV season is generally designated for weekends. Not today. 4-star Dijon Lee out of California, who is every bit of 6'3", 190 pounds, big DB. He's going to be on campus. It will be the first time he's been on campus in almost 2 years. So this is a funny recruitment. We're going to recruit you. We're going to get to know you 2 years in advance, then not invite you back for 18 months, and then decide, you know what? Hey, we got this midweek OV slot. Why don't you come hang out? Hey, listen, the thing about Dijon is he's a dude. This kid, this is what those old Ohio State DBs in the 2010s look like, man. Big, strong, fast, can hit, comes downhill. This is a Georgia-Alabama lead right now. Those two schools are above and beyond. Got to catch up with him in Nashville a couple weeks ago. Those seem to be the two schools that are standing out. I kind of feel like this Texas visit is a courtesy in some ways. He's a really good kid. He does have a pretty good connection to the staff, especially the West Coast kids. But at the end of the day, Sark is shooting a shot. You know what? Bring in a big DB. This kid's got some Dory and Brew vibes to him. Like, Dijon's gonna be a dude. And so I like that Texas is doing that. Bring him in. Hey, it'll get a lot of one-on-one over the next few days, and we'll hopefully have some updates at Inside Texas.
We moved to the weekend where over 10, they had under 10 this past weekend, but over 10 will be there. And Coach, one of the guys that will be there is Riley Pettijohn. He's seen, I believe, USC and Ohio State, still has Texas A&M and Texas to go. Texas has been in a good position. You think they're in a good position, but this is a chance possibly for the Longhorns to create a larger lead.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. It's time to win everybody over. Mom, dad, brothers, and sisters too. I think he'd be in Texas just to kind of confirm everything he's been told. He's been there numerous of times on his own. Met with Coach Sark one-on-one maybe a month ago. So I think, official visit season, we all know, it's great. The red carpet is rolled out. You get a chance to see and learn about everything Texas has to offer. And I think it's going to solidify my thoughts of him going to Texas. So I can't wait for him to get there and tell me all about the visit.
Coach, I got a quick question for Riley. Is he a Lamborghini or is he a Ferrari type kid? And what type of automobile do you think Texas is going to influence him when he walks through those pearly burnt orange lights?
You know what? Being a linebacker, I don't know. We may go, I don't know, G-Wagon. So who knows, man?
G-Wagon. Okay.
Yeah, we might go G-Wagon.
I was thinking maybe overshown with the oversized F-150, because Riley's a cowboy in some sense. He's still a cowboy. Yeah. But hey, do you think Texas can? Do you think if this weekend goes that well, the A&M one happens next weekend?
Just talking, I think they're going to do the due diligence, so they still may go on the visit, but I think decision could be made. But they just strike me as a family who's like, hey, if we give you a word, we're going to come. We'll actually go visit type of family. So I think that upstanding people. So I think the visit still may happen, but you just never know.
We'll keep it on moving. Justin, this is the one I think a lot of people may be tuning in for. That's Dakorien Moore. He just visited LSU, a place he used to be committed to. He's got Texas, he's got Oregon, he's got Ohio State, I believe, remaining. This is a big visit. He's familiar with Texas. Mom's familiar with Texas. The Longhorns recruited him very heavily last summer before he decided to commit to LSU, continued to recruit him heavily. And now the official visit's coming around, and this is a big opportunity for the Longhorns to put their best foot forward with the best receiver in the country.
That's exactly what they need to do. People, the fans clamored a little bit about it not being on the big weekend, which is next weekend, the 21st to the 23rd. I actually think it's smart to space a few of them out. They've all interacted with each other on multiple occasions. April 6th, every one of these wide receiver targets, the who's who of who, were in Austin. And so they've all kind of overlapped in some sense. I like that Dakorion's going to get, in my sense, a little bit more one-on-one, especially in that wide receiver room. There are a handful of other guys coming in there as well. I'm a big fan of Dalen McCutcheon, but Dakorion's the guy. That's the numero uno on the big board. I feel like he's been that way for 2 years now. There's a lot been going into this official visit, even when he was committed to LSU, guys. This was the big visit. Ohio State showed him what he could do in the Big Ten. He likes Ohio State. I just don't think that's going to be the pick. LSU, I felt like it was more of a courtesy in some senses because he had been committed there for so long, and he does have a good relationship with Coach Hankton and a lot of the guys down in LSU. I think Dakorien could have also seen himself playing there, but this is a Texas-Oregon battle, and this is going to come down to proximity close to home, or does he want to go far away? It's going to come down to playing in the SEC or playing in the cold Big Ten in October, November. Those are going to be the things that get weighed in this recruitment. Oregon's got a shot, people. I'm telling you right now, Oregon's got a shot. But if I was a betting man, I'd take Texas right now and give me the odds. Or don't tell me the odds. Either way.
Okay, Han Solo. Before we keep on going, got to give a word of thanks to our friend Laura Baker, raised in Austin, knows the city like the back of her hand, student of the industry, and takes pride in ensuring her clients understand all their options, integrity, hard work, positivity, creative service in every part of the real estate transaction for the elite Andy Allen team. She's been in the real estate business in Austin since 2005, been part of this industry for almost 20 years, and is a two-time graduate of the University of Texas. So give Laura Baker a call, 512-784-0505. Your real estate expert. If Ian Boyd weren't driving down the middle of America, he'd be able to tell you how Laura Baker has helped him out, helped him find a house in the Austin area, can help you find a house in the Austin area. So call Laura Baker, 512-784-0505. Coach moved from a skill position with Moore to a big guy with Lamont Rogers. And this one is a battle between a bunch of different teams. Missouri, Texas A&M, Texas. The Longhorns have kind of been in and out of this recruitment in some aspects, but they get their shot this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I think it'll be huge. He's a big guy, big on relationships. And I think it's continuing to build, right? And he talks to, Coach Chris Gilbert almost daily. And I think he pretty much leads that recruitment as far as, communication. So having those DFW ties, I think we'll kind of see what the visit looks like after, talking to Lamont and talking to his family, just kind of see where Texas stands after the visit. But I think it's a great chance for him to get down to Austin. He loved it the first time he went. And so This is the second time for him to go back and kind of confirm, like, maybe Texas is the place for me. So I cannot wait for him to take a visit and just see everything Texas has to offer and having more one-on-one time to meet with Coach Flood and all the coaches.
Justin, Texas has 3 offensive linemen in the bow right now. They have Devin and Jordan Coleman. They have Jackson Christian committed. They obviously are interested in Michael Fasusi. Would they take a 5-man class if it included both Fasusi and Rogers and they shot for the moon and hit it?
Oh, yes. Yes and yes. If they could land Fasusi and Rogers, they would do that quickly with the quickness. And they may shut it down. That might be the last 2 they take. I think the number's going to be 5 anyway, Joe. And I think Fasusi is muy importante. He's numero uno on the grande board. So that's a kid. I think he came, coming off the Texas A&M official. I think they did really well. Like I said, he's got some connections to that staff, and Fasusi really does enjoy the process. He really does like going to all these places and getting doted on by tons of staff and family. But Texas is still the clubhouse leader there. I honestly feel like Rogers and Missouri have gotten closer, and Rogers and A&M. It almost in a direction where they know Fasusi may be headed to Austin. Sometimes you can look at fact patterns of where coaches are bringing in kids and when they're not. And I think a lot of that points to Texas. That they're the last OV for a reason, guys. And I don't think NIL is going to be a super important thing in this recruitment, but it's going to be a factor. And when you're one of the nation's top offensive tackles, I think that goes hand in hand. Texas Fasusi still look tremendous. I can't wait to catch up with him soon. He'll be on campus soon. They still look in a great spot. Hey, you land a Kelvin Banks, then you get a Brandon Baker, then you throw in a Michael Fasusi, then you snap up a John Turntine. All of a sudden, you've got 4 consecutive years of 5-star offensive tackles, and that's how you protect 5-star quarterbacks.
We've talked a lot about, 3 wide receivers, but there are 3 offensive linemen in Texas in Lamont Rogers, Michael Fasusi, and then Ty Haywood. Texas is kind of taking a backseat with Ty Haywood a lot of bit, but they're still in it for both Lamont Rogers and Fasusi and looking to be in strong shape there. Justin, somebody who's seen a lot of different schools over the past few weeks and seen a lot of different schools over the past couple months is on their way. And Brandon Brown, he's still committed to Texas. He saw LSU, had great reviews on that trip. He saw Tennessee, had great reviews on that trip. But he has maintained, at least in name, a Texas commitment, and now he's heading back for his official visit. What's kind of the latest with Brandon Brown and what Kenny Baker's trying to do in the defensive tackle class?
Yeah, well, we all know what Kenny Baker's trying to do with the defensive tackle class, and that's put it together. That's build it from the ground up. He's having to build these relationships on the go. It's like an Airbnb relationship. We got to move. We got to go. And Baker's doing a good job. He really is. You may not see it on the recruiting. You may not see it on the trail as much, or you may not see it in commitments on publicly on social media. But Kenny really is getting closer to these guys. He's kind of like, gives me a Chris Jackson vibe, where he was having to play catch up last year, and then eventually found his footing. Landed a Wingo, landed a couple other big, good high developmental guys. Brandon Brown, if you talk to his mother, who is salt of the earth, wonderful lady, Miss Naisha, they're just enjoying the process right now. They're treating it like he's not committed, but they're staying engaged. They still talk to Baker and Sark on a regular basis. I feel like Brown comes out of these visits with that post-visit buzz. That high that they have for that 24-hour period, because you've just been treated like a prince for 48 hours, and it's natural. The LSU thing, I wouldn't have been surprised with a flip. The Tennessee thing, I'd be a little bit more surprised. They say they're clearly in it, but I don't know how much. I really do think this is going to come down to Texas, LSU, and those Florida schools. And the Florida schools are the one to watch, guys. Florida is creeping. Miami is creeping. Those programs run that state. And so even if he goes through all these OVs and maintains his commitment to Texas, he's still going to go see those places in the fall. So this is one that if you're to tell Texas fans, you got to go a little bit of 38 special and just hold on loosely, because you don't know how this thing is going to turn out, and neither do we.
Make sure we got a lot more visitors to talk about, but we're going to talk about them over on Inside Texas. Make sure you use the promo code IT1. That'll get you 2 months of access for just $1. But before we get out, Charlie, John Mills, a big, and I mean big 16-year-old from San Francisco, California, taking his official visit this week. We kind of talked about how he might fit in with the rest of the class and what the pieces may look like. It's no guarantee, obviously, that they'll get both Fasusi and Rogers. So let's say they get one. John Mills, does he have a good fit in this class, especially as a young a prospect as he is?
Yeah, definitely, man. Just talking to that kid, he loves football. He loves punishing people, and he's a big human. Like, what else can you ask for if you want somebody playing on the offense line? I think he'll fit well. He's very versatile, can play tackle or guard. I think Coach Calflo would have a wonderful time coaching him. He's a guy that, like I said, he gets it. He's a football player to the core. And so if you don't get, a Lamont Rogers or Fasusi, like, hey, John Mills is, the next guy. I wouldn't even say next guy up. I think they're all talented, amongst each other. So I don't see it as maybe a step down or anything like that. And they're all in the same class. They all do things very well. Big physical guys who can move. And so I think he'll fit in the class. If he decides to commit this weekend, who knows, man? I love him. Like, first time talking to him, I asked him about the first clip on this film. I was like, yo, where were you headed? He's like, I was trying to score too. You see him leading the running back down the field like 80 yards, man. Like, it's like The Blind Side all over again, man. I love that kid. So, Yeah, he'll be a great pickup if he decides to jump into the class.
Always good stuff. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Coach, for another great episode of Recruiting Intel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. It's only going to heat up as we get closer to the season and as we go through official visit season. Again, IT1 gets you 2 months of Inside Texas access for just $1. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Laura Baker. Gentlemen, thank you. We'll see you next time on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com.